Zombieland 2 Double Tap.
Alright, so I just got back from watching Zombieland 2 Double Tap. This is the sequel to the 2009 Zombieland, and it's once again directed by Ruben Fleischer, and it stars once again Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Luke Wilson this time, and Rosario Dawson. This movie takes place 10 years later after the events of Part 1, and they are living it up in the White House, chilling, having a good time, but then they break apart. The little girl and the sister, Emma Stone, they just want to go their own separate ways. They're getting sick and tired of Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg, and then they split apart too. The little girl runs away from the sister, and then Emma Stone comes back to the old friends and says, "Help me get my sister back. She ran off with some hippie." Meanwhile, a ditzy blonde from the mall joins them on their quest to go save the little girl, and she is a moron. Now, if you saw my review for Zombieland I uploaded Thursday morning, you know that I'm a big fan of that movie. I've heard some people not like it. It's got like a 7.9 on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb, one of those. It's got a pretty decent rating, and there's a reason why they made a sequel to it, because it's basically a cult classic at this point. A lot of people like it, including me. There's a lot of logic issues with that movie, but it's not a movie that you should go into expecting it to be realistic at all. It's a zombie film. You gotta put that shit aside. Do I like this one more? Do I like it just as much? Do I like it less? At this moment, I would say about the same, maybe just a little bit more. There are some things that I prefer about this one over the first one. First up, I like the characters in this movie, the way they're fleshed out a little bit more. They're the same characters that we know and love, but they expand on their relationships. Like, you get to see Woody Harrelson bonding with the little girl. I forget her name, the actress's name, but she's like Little Rock. He's more of a father figure to her now, so we get to see that side of him that we didn't really get to see too much of in the last movie, because the last one has a very quick pace. There's not too much character development in that one. This one focuses a little bit more on story and the characters, and it actually has a little bit more plot. The first one was just basically survival. You know, they want to go to the carnival, and they just want to survive, and he likes her, and that's it. In this one, there's a little bit more story. There's a few extra characters in here. There's a lot more alive characters, non-zombies. There's even, I think, even more zombies and bigger budget in this movie. This movie feels bigger, and I really like the third act. The third act is less corny, and I mean, it's still balls to the wall crazy. The monster truck that you see in the trailer that comes into play at the end, but there's less logic issues with this movie. There's a couple of small things they try to explain about how they still have power, but there's other logic issues. But like I said, you just gotta ignore that, like how they still have like Code Red and Pop that they're drinking 10 years later. There's a lot of shit that would be expired, but you're not supposed to focus on that. So this movie is definitely a step up from the first one when it comes to characters and the plot. But that's just my opinion, alright? As of right now, I didn't script this. I had a commenter say, "You should script your reviews." That would be a lot of extra work for no reason. Like, why? Why would I do that? Does anybody script the reviews? Like, I'm just gonna write down everything I'm about to say? That's just fucking stupid. So to that commenter, you can fuck off to a different channel that scripts the reviews, because I'm not doing it. This is how I feel right now. This is off the cuff. This is the way it should be done. So this is my thought process right now. I also really like, as a continuity person, that this movie feels like a sequel. And not just because the continuity of the cast, but the feel of the movie, the style, the way it's shot. You got Ruben Fleischer directing once again. You got that slow-mo montage at the beginning. Lots of winks, little winks and callbacks to the first one. I mentioned it before, Code Red. Jesse's character, he's still pouring Code Red. There's lots of little things sprinkled throughout. You're like, oh, that's from that. Oh, he still has the fear of clowns. Lit like 100 that I could, if I had a pen and paper, it would fill the whole sheet. There's so many little things just being called back to. They're throwback, like just a lot, trust me. And if you don't watch the first one before this, you might not get all the things, because there's even like jokes in here that you wouldn't understand fully unless you saw the first one. They bring back the rules, and they meet like these doppelgangers.
I don't like you at all.
I think you double parked, or more perpendicular parked. Hope we don't get a ticket.
What is going on here?
What?
Hello, everyone.
Am I hallucinating?
I thought that was very funny, and it's also a mixed aspect. I have two mixed feelings, and that is the doppelganger thing. Because as much as I love it, it's very short-lived. As soon as Luke Wilson is thrown into the movie, I'm like, oh, so he's going to be with us throughout the whole movie. But he's not. I won't spoil what happens to him or what he does or anything like that, but because this is spoiler free. I had another commenter say on one of my spoiler free reviews, "This is too spoiler free." Well, then I did a good job because it's spoiler free, dipshit. Again, if you want a spoiler free review, fuck off to some other channel. This is spoiler free. But anyways, I like Luke Wilson in this movie, but what I am mixed on is that they don't use, like, they just quickly go through it. Like, he's, like, in the movie and then he's out. Like, just really, like, I feel like they should have carried him throughout the whole movie, and because that was some of the best comedy, too, was, like, the doppelganger situation. I thought that was hilarious, and I just wish it would have played out longer. But they kind of just introduce ideas, and they quickly just forget about them, or it's just over. Another little mixed thing is Madison. The reason why she's mixed is because there's some moments from her that I actually found funny, but there's also a lot of moments from her that I found just stereotypical, because her whole character is a stereotype. You know, wears all pink, has blonde hair, big boobs, she's hot, she's gorgeous, and she's an airhead, that type of character. But she's funny, but she's also annoying, because she's a stereotype on an annoying level, and she talks a lot. So it's a mixed bag. I like her in some moments, and I don't like her.
Oh, whoopsie, I forgot the seatbelt rule.
Oh, so she knows the rules?
I told her just a few of them.
73, are there more?
You're cute. I like it.
And I guess another mixed aspect to kind of go with what I was talking about with Madison is that the comedy, a lot of it's funny. There's definitely some laugh out loud moments. I was chuckling quite a bit. It's definitely a lot more comedic. It definitely goes way more into the, like, childlike cartoony route. It's definitely more corny than the first one. So it's a comedy that, if it's not for you, if you're not like a fan of like slapstickish type of comedy, or just, it's very insane. I can't describe it. If you thought Zombieland was too corny or whatnot, this takes it to a new level. It's way more comedic right off the bat. Now, as for negatives, one thing, I guess one of the only things that kind of bugged me was they introduced, and this kind of goes towards the comedy, was the whole Homer zombies. They introduced this new idea that zombies are evolving. Smart, cool idea, an interesting way to make this stand out from the first one is let's introduce the new zombie types, which we see in like video games all the time. You know, we have names for these zombies, the boomers, the tanks, and if you ever play like Left 4 Dead, there's those different like zombies that evolve and they have like special abilities. They kind of bring that into this one where there's like 3 different types of zombies, and they kind of just brush over it at the beginning, but you hardly see them throughout the movie, maybe just once. And the ones that are supposed to be like the big, powerful zombies, or the ones that are harder to take down, like you can't just do a double tap, they hardly, even if it takes multiple bullets to kill them, they never seem like a real threat. It never plays out that way. There's no like moments of tension because this movie's so comedic that you're never like feeling worried and concerned for like the characters. Like, is this person gonna make it? And I feel like they try to go for that towards the end regarding like Woody Harrelson's character. Like, is he gonna make it? Is he gonna be the one that dies? But it doesn't succeed in actually making me scared or anything in that situation, because I'm like, this is a comedy. If anybody dies, that would be completely like different. That would change the tone. It would be like comedy and now very sad. Like, it just wouldn't mix well. Like, so it just they try to make you feel like concern at one point, but it just doesn't work for me because you know they're all gonna make it. But these also, like I said, these other zombies that they introduce, you hardly see them, and it just doesn't really add anything to the story. Really, it's just oh, we got new types of zombies, and that's it. Like, they don't explore that more. I wish we could have seen like a lot more different types of zombies, maybe some more T-800s that they call, and actually see them like seem like a big threat. Because they don't ever really seem like that big a threat. It's just like taking out other zombies. But final thoughts, I really enjoyed this movie. You have to go into it as a comedy. Don't expect this to be a horror movie. If you've seen the trailers, you know it's a comedy. It's definitely a comedy, and you even got a post-credit scene that you gotta stay tuned for. And it's pretty funny. Love it. It's a great comedy that succeeds at being funny. The comedy lands for me, but comedy is subjective. What you find funny, I might, and what I find funny, you might not like. So it's hard to say if it succeeds in being a comedy because everybody's different, but there are some funny moments, definitely. So I think it's a great movie that's definitely worth adding to your collection if you already have Zombieland 1. I can't see you hating Zombieland 2 because it feels almost identical to Zombieland 1 in style and feel and tone. So when it comes to Zombieland 2 Double Tap, I definitely say that this is worth checking out, so go out and buy it. What did you think about Zombieland Double Tap? Do you think the comedy was too much? Do you wish they would have done something just completely more serious? Or what did you want from this movie, or did you like how it was? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button, and you can become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.